Welcome to Module 4, where you'll learn how to love who you are. Today, we have lots of tips, techniques, and strategies to help you embrace your individuality. Let's get started. Living authentically requires you to move past just accepting yourself so you can actually love who you are. A good start to this process is to embrace what makes you unique. Maybe you feel discomfort about being so different from everyone else. Or perhaps you find yourself similar to others to the point that you believe you're boring. Either way, it's time to recognize that your special mix of character traits combine to create a one and only, very unique you. Although there are many ways to embrace who you are, use these strategies to open your arms to the amazing individual you are. Strategy number 1. Take note of your habits. What kind of habits do you practice? Do you floss your teeth every night and consistently wash dishes as soon as you dirty them? Is your bedtime and time for arising always the same? Understand what's important to you by noticing the behaviors you routinely do. In a sense, your habits are your trademark. Strategy number 2. Describe your personality in detail. A wonderful technique for embracing your individuality is to think deeply about the type of person you are. If you had to describe yourself to another person, what words would you use? Maybe you're always in a hurry or like to keep a very clean house. Perhaps you have a lot of friends and are quite gregarious. Write down your description of yourself and be as thoughtful and thorough about your personality characteristics as you can. You're worth the time this strategy will take. Strategy number 3. Determine what is so great about you. Of course, you have your own special blend of positive qualities, such as being a good listener, having a good sense of humor, and being dependable for others. Strategy 4 is to identify your biggest struggles. What challenges you? If you're ever stumped about how to handle a situation, describe those situations on paper. Getting a handle on what taxes you the most increases your self-awareness. Strategy 5. Work to resolve your biggest struggles. Yes, identification is great, but tackling each challenge one by one to experience success in those areas is very important to do for yourself. Why? Because you'll see that you can overcome anything you set your mind to. Strategy number 6. Remind yourself that you're a decent human being. In order to embrace your individuality, you must accept who you are. Learning to love yourself and take yourself as you are is a great step toward loving and encouraging others. Sure, you have flaws, but that's okay. Accept it. Love yourself. Then give yourself permission to make micro improvements and enhancements. Tiny hinges swing big doors, so don't worry about making big sweeping personal overhauls. Strategy number 7. Embrace who you are each morning. It's a new day. You have opportunities to experience discoveries about yourself and who you are. Consider the unfolding day as a venue to keep learning more and more about yourself. Actively work each day to love your individuality. Notice your habits. Stay in close touch with the elements of your personality. Know what is great about you, as well as what kinds of things irritate you. Speaking of individuality, the next part of this lesson talks about your quirky side. Celebrate your quirky side and thrive. We all have quirks. Maybe you collect vegetables shaped like movie stars, or love to recite Old Norse poetry. Discover more freedom by learning to accept yourself and the idiosyncrasies that make you special. There are benefits to celebrating your quirky side. Your first benefit? You can live authentically. You can make your own decisions instead of going along with the crowd. Spend time on activities that are meaningful for you, regardless if they're viewed as quirky. Let your genuine nature shine through. You'll attract friends who appreciate your true personality. Your second benefit? Boost your confidence. Feel comfortable with yourself. Take pleasure in who you are and what you do. Be driven by your passions, regardless of whether they match the current trends. Another benefit, your quirks help you to develop your skills. Your quirks may be trying to tell you something. Use them to identify your natural talents. For example, maybe you have a flair for needlework or electronics. A fourth benefit: become more tolerant. Coming to terms with your own peculiarities can help you to be more open-minded about those around you. Show your support for a coworker who is learning to play the harpsichord or training for a hula hoop competition. A fifth benefit: enjoy free entertainment. Your quirks can provide more amusement than cable TV. Feel free to laugh at yourself. Invite your friends to join you. And a sixth benefit: manage stress. Your odd habits may also offer clues about constructive ways for you to relieve the stresses of daily life. Do you find yourself turning to music or cooking when you feel anxious? Consider using these techniques to embrace your quirky side. The first technique is to examine your quirky behaviors. Distinguish between strange habits that are harmless and those that may be creating difficulties for yourself and others. For example, binge drinking may require professional intervention. On the other hand, repairing clocks is a rewarding hobby. Technique number 2, accommodate others. Even if your quirks are innocent in themselves, you may need to limit the exposure for others. For example, your spouse will thank you for whistling in the shower and not at the dinner table. A third technique is to turn down the volume. Quiet time and solitude will help you get in touch with your quirky side. Find out what you like to do when no one is watching. Observe how you tackle challenges or organize a complex task. Technique 4, look back in time. Thinking back to your childhood can also be revealing. You may find that you have hidden interests that go beyond your professional or family life. Have you always loved cats or been fascinated by machinery? A fifth technique is to question conventional wisdom. Independent thinking triggers all kinds of breakthroughs. For example, your innovative approach to a project at work could create a better customer experience or reduce processing time. Or your friends may be inspired by the novel way you tie a scarf or how you build a treehouse. Another technique that can help you embrace your quirky side is to broaden your experiences. Having the courage to be original can lead to adventures. As you try new things, you'll increase your knowledge about yourself and your surroundings. Your personality will grow richer. A seventh technique, develop informed opinions. Do your research and be prepared with facts about things that are important to you. You may be quirky, but you can also be well-informed so you can explain and defend the unusual way you do things. And our last technique, lighten up. Most of all, relax and let go of rigid expectations. There are many ways to be an outstanding parent, friend, or leader. Follow your quirks to design the path that best suits your unique abilities. Quirks make you more interesting and accomplished. Celebrate them. Independent thinking opens up more opportunities for you. Use your quirks to expand your future. Embracing your individuality will enrich your life in ways you can't imagine. In the next few lessons on your journey toward living authentically, you'll discover more strategies that will help you love the awesome individual you are. You'll learn to trust yourself as you stop seeking the approval of others. You'll believe in yourself instead of comparing yourself to others. And you'll learn to love yourself inside and out. The next lesson will show you how you can avoid approval-seeking behaviors. But first, here's what you need to do today. Take note of your habits. In your journal, make a list of your habits. Which ones are helpful? Which ones do you think you might want to tone down to accommodate new habits? And how will you go about this change? That was a long lesson. Lots to take in. Enjoy trying out some of these strategies this week, and I'll see you in the next lesson.